is such a hot topic right now. HubSpot have just published the top 6 things that marketers are spending money on. 3 of them are video. One of them is live audio. The other one's augmented reality and virtual. And the other one's kind of innovative media, which arguably video still comes into all of those in one sense. So video is such a hot topic, but time and time again, people say, I know I need to be doing more video. And so let's look at why people don't use video. I've got a little presentation. Okay. Frankly, you know, I've coached a lot of people over the years, and frankly, most people feel like this when they have a camera pointer. They hate it. Okay, there's some very good reasons why. For starters, I don't know if you know this, but you don't look how you look, and you don't sound how you sound, because you see yourself in mirror image because you look in the mirror, but everybody else sees you differently. And unless you're Tom Cruise with an extremely symmetrical face, you don't look how you think you look, right? So when you see yourself on camera, even before you get to the, oh, I haven't got enough makeup on, or, you know, my hair's a mess, or any of that, there's something not quite right already before you start, right? And then you don't sound how you think you sound because you hear yourself through your skull. And so when you hear your voice, it sounds tinny and it sounds, oh, I don't like it, because it doesn't sound how it does to you, okay? So one of the first things to do is kind of get over the fact that you just don't look and sound how you think you look. And so like something as fundamental as that is not true, okay? But we all hate, you know, most people, unless you're a, you know, big mouth like me, most people hate being on camera. And a lot of people think of video as this kind of thing. You know, it's like some big setup with lights and proper interview and that sort of thing. Okay, and what I want to try and show today is there's all manner of ways, and I'm sure you're starting to see this, or you know, if you've seen this online, there's loads of ways you can get using video that are very low risk, not even out in the public, that start to get you familiar with using video so that you can start to transform the way you do business and ultimately make more money. Okay, so we're trying to get you from kind of like, I hate it, to like, well, I don't really like it, but okay, well, I'll have a go, to I can do it and I'm getting quite good at it and actually using it all the time, right? And that's what I'm starting to call a video first culture. And the reason why video, one of the reasons why video is so good, it's not just like the latest kind of, you know, buzzword or something. Video is the ultimate asset, because from video, you can create text because you can get it transcribed. You can create little clips of that video. There's so much you can do. You can create stills from the video. So, you know, if you look online, people have videos how to do this. You know, they show you how you can get like 20 bits of content from one 5-minute interview. So that's your social media marketing sorted for the month, just from shooting one video. It cascades. So you can have audio only, you can turn it into a podcast. So you could just listen to the audio of this, or you could watch the transcript of this, or just pull out little snippets if you have a little sound bite. Okay, so it's the ultimate asset. If you're trying to create assets that promote your business, it's the ultimate asset. So as I said before, people often think about kind of what I might call done for you video. Okay, this is, you get a professional film crew in and you shoot a high production value video, and there's definitely a place for that. However, that's not really what I'm talking about here. The next level down is kind of done with you. Maybe you shoot the video, but then you get some help, because frankly, I don't even like video editing. It's so boring. It just takes hours and it's very tedious. There are some tools out there that try and make it easier for you. Most people don't even want to engage with that, because you still need to know some stuff. You need to uploading it. Just takes some time. Most people hate all of that. Okay, so you might want some help. But where it's really at, I think, and what I want to focus on is getting you to the point where you can do it yourself. You know, so the video is done by you regularly, okay? And that's repeatable, it's cost effective, and it just becomes part of the culture. So what are some of the things you can do, you know, it's a phrase in the UK, I don't know how well it translates elsewhere, it's home improvement in the US, but DIY, do it yourself video. What do we mean by that? What are some of the things you can do? So a nice thing to start with, a task training video. So say you're working with an assistant. Some of you may already do this. It'd be great to get your experiences in the chat. There's tools like Loom and Trainial. There's a whole load of things that you can capture tasks that you're regularly doing, or maybe that task that's only done once a month that everybody forgets how to do in a month's time because it's like reporting or something like that. And you think, like, if I could just train my PA or my virtual assistant to do that, it'd be really helpful. Okay, and you could write it down, but why not? You could use a tool like Loom or just QuickTime on your Mac or your Windows machine. Just do a screen record, and you can record yourself in the corner if you want to, or if you don't even want to be on camera, you just record the audio of like, click here, do this, do that, and then do this, and then email that person. Okay, now that's not even out in the public domain, so it's very low risk, but it gets you using and talking consistently on camera, because you don't want to keep fluffing it up. And people feel, oh, I keep messing it up, and it's that fear of making a mistake on camera. Not everyone can talk to camera for hours on end without making a mistake, right? Firstly, it doesn't matter if you do make a mistake, right? Live TV, you watch, they make mistakes all the time, but this will get you comfortable. It'll get you comfortable with the tech setup on your laptop as well. So these are really powerful because these are assets you're capturing about your business that can be used in the future. So it's training and onboarding new members of staff. Maybe you're showing a client how to do something because it's part of what you provide to them, or you're just talking them through something. You're talking through a bid or proposal. You could talk them through, well, we did this, you know, this is why we covered that. You're just adding a little bit of value. And again, those can all be kept. They're assets that can be kept to train new people. So when we're doing a proposal, we might want to explain to the client this, and you can chop bits out of it. You can make a new video. Okay, so that's task training videos, really good one to get going with. Okay, could just be audio. You could be down the bottom right hand corner in a little bubble or something. It helps people to see you, to understand what's required. You see your body language. This is a great one, and if you can do it, you will stand out, because hardly anybody does it. These tools have been around for a while and still hardly anyone does it. Okay, so I'm talking about Bonjoro here, but there's another one called BombBomb, and there are probably others. What these are, they're customer nurture or customer interaction tools. So you could put, so say you're sending, you've had a call with somebody, and you want to follow up with them in a couple of days' time. Instead of just sending them an email, what you can do is use Bonjoro and record a little video. Okay, and what it does is it embeds that email, it embeds the video in the email. But of course, it doesn't embed the whole video, because that would be really big and it'd be really irritating to the other person to receive it. So what it does is it creates an animated GIF of the first 5 seconds. And I'm sure you'll know, because everybody uses it on phones these days. An animated GIF is kind of picture format, which has a little bit of animation, but no sound. Okay, so what you can do to make sure that they open it, say you're sending it to somebody called Amanda, you get your little whiteboard out, you write down, and I know this is going to be in reverse because I've flipped my video around, so this will be in reverse, but you get the idea. You go, hi, Amanda. And of course, it won't pick up the audio. It'll just go, but who is not, I'm like, oh, wow, they've sent me, it's not just a standard video, it's a video to me, Amanda. So who is not going to open that video and watch it? Okay, so really, really powerful customer interaction tool. Or onboarding a new client, or getting a testimonial. You can send them a video, and Bonjoro will say, you could say, I would love to get, it was great working with you, really appreciate some kind words. All you have to do is press record, send it back. You've got a 30-second little testimonial from them. It doesn't have to be high quality. Remember, you can turn it into text, you can turn it into audio. Even if the video is terrible, you still get loads of value out of doing that. And you've got it in their words rather than them writing it down and spending hours thinking about it. Obviously, there's phone video to social media. This is kind of getting over yourself and just getting used to holding up your camera, going, hi, here we are, oh, this is us messing about in the office or whatever. You've got to be a little bit careful that with, what are you trying to do there? Because you could overshare, but people want to see basically, people have got used to video as being, like this corporate thing. And we all know from social media, if we all scroll past that stuff, what people like to see is a little bit more sort of behind the scenes stuff. And it's social media. They want to see the story behind what it is they're buying. It's not just the logo or whatever. It's like, what's your team like? What's going on in the office today? That sort of thing. Okay. Oh, we're having fun. We're working hard on your proposal. I've got a new RFPs come in. we're working hard on that for you guys or for a new client or something like that. It's a bit crazy. Okay, so it's just being intentional about that, okay, and sort of thinking through what you're trying to achieve. But again, it doesn't have to be super high quality, and again, that will get you over, you know, how do you use the phone effectively for video. I'm not saying do, you know, do Catherine Bennett and start going crazy with TikToks, you know, great for her. I'm not on TikTok. You know, I think I probably need to get on TikTok because some of my clients are starting to get on TikTok and Instagram and so on. So, but I'm just gonna bring somebody in to do that. You know, I don't need to be the person that does that and try and pretend I know how to use TikTok. But you know, you don't have to do those sort of crazy dancing around the office videos, but just authentic, behind the scenes. This is me getting comfortable on camera. That's really powerful. It's social media. Yeah, it's called social for a reason. And obviously video conferencing, things like this, using Zoom, we all got used to doing that, but a load of people didn't get the memo about how you do it effectively. It's like, you know, a lot of people, it's like picking up a pen and then not learning how to join, not really learning how to use it properly and do joined up writing. Yeah. So I still see so many Zoom calls where people are like, hello, you know, here we are today, and I'm looking down, I'm not looking at the camera, I'm hardly in the screen. You know, it's like, what is that about? You know, so there's a few, just go through, whiz through a few little tips for you. I deliberately made this small, don't worry, because you can ask for this later, okay? So if you hit in the comments that you want it, just type nuggets, all right? Video nuggets, and I'll make sure that Bhaskar sends it over to you, all right? So, but I'll talk you through that. There you go, nuggets. So Victoria wants one. Who else wants one? Just type it in the chat, okay? So I'll just whiz through these, right? Video is about energy. This is our bottom one down here, okay? Video is about energy, so stand up, right? You don't, I get it, on a Zoom call, you don't always have to stand up, but here I'm standing up, okay? When you sit down, the energy goes down. And if you're a guy in particular, and you're sat in a comfy chair, what do? We go like this. And the sofa's the word, right? If you see people on those Good Morning TV shows, morning TV, even the guys, they have backs to the sofa. They never use them. They perch on the edge. Now, ladies, because of sort of decorum and wearing skirts and so on, are used to doing that. Guys, we don't do that. We slouch, okay? You watch the professionals. They never touch the back of that chair. They sit up and look forward at the camera and sit up straight, okay? So stand up, opens up your lungs. You can wave your arms around. You can move. It's all about energy and being kind of like the most version of you. You used to be yourself, but be like the most version of yourself, because video sucks energy. So if you're just kind of normal you, it comes across as normal you, right? So if you're like, yay, me, it comes across as, yeah, me, you know, just as friendly, all right? So it sucks, you know, to keep the energy up. So often when I'm coaching people, they're thinking about all the stuff they've got to say. I've got to say this and I've got to say that, and camera. By the time they get to it, yeah, we're a really amazing company. We've got lots of lovely products, and yeah, there's just no energy. So do a few takes until you can say, you can forget about the stuff, and you can go, we are having such a great time in the office today. There's loads going on, and you really sell it. Yeah, just loads of energy, almost a little bit over the top, and it comes across as normal by the time it gets into the video. Okay. Now, content. I constantly saying there's nuggets. So I hope you're enjoying these nuggets. I hope these are tasty for you. We all want to talk about our stuff, and the number of times I've been on a call creating a video for a bid or a proposal, and people on the call will say something along the lines of, oh yeah, we've got, you know, because there's lots of people dialed in from around the world, and they say, oh, we've got to tell them about this. Oh, and somebody else says, oh, well, we've got to tell them that as well. You know, like they've all got to get their bit in. And I say, sometimes I'm more polite than this, but often I'll say something along the lines of, look, guys, nobody cares about your stuff. Nobody cares about you, and nobody cares about your stuff. What they care, guess what they care about? Them. So let's start with them, okay? Show them that we understand that the world that they're living in, the challenges they're facing, you know, what are their strategic objectives? Because they might not have told us all that, right? It's all the good stuff that we're supposed to do with proposals, and sometimes don't do because it's crazy and we don't get time to do it, right? But we should do, shouldn't we? And so you really show them that you understand them. You tell them a story. So you build I was saying, sorry if you've heard me say this loads of times. I've putting out videos on LinkedIn about this. You know, you've got to build a bridge between you and them, but you've got to start on their side, not your side, and then work back. show them that you understand them, and then you buy the right to talk about your stuff. All right. That covers the you and me bit. Yeah, think about what you want to say. Composition, as I was saying, if you're on a Zoom call, this is a little bit about your sort of Zoom setup or social media setup. There's something called the rule of thirds, and some cameras have it. So if you're not used to it, turn it on. So it's like a noughts and crosses board. Okay, so you've got two vertical lines, like about there, and two horizontal lines about there. Now, if you notice where my eyes are, if you drew a line here, they'd be pretty much on that line, okay? And that's by design. And you'll notice there's a little bit of headroom, not much, but a little bit of headroom, just like any newsreader you see. They won't be like this out of the shot, but neither will they be in the middle, okay? So do not put your head in the middle of the shot. Put it about there, okay? Little bit of headroom, eyes on the line. If you're interviewing somebody and you're not looking at the camera, you stand on this third line here, okay? So now she knows my eyes are still here, and now I'm on the third line. Okay, so Julie, what do you think? Blah, 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 blah. Or same over here, yeah? Because if you go here, it just looks odd because you're not looking into the shot. You've got all this space behind you, okay? So composition, rule of thirds. Sound is almost more important than the vision. If the sound is terrible, you know, because you hear the sound all the time. You might be looking around the room, you know, if you've gone, oh my goodness, he's you know, he's got a face for radio, and you may be multitasking. You can't even see me now. You're probably, you know, answering an email or something like that. You still hear me, right? And this could be turned into a podcast. You can still hear me. That the sound is the thread all the way through. The video, not so much, right? So it's really important to get good sound. So if you are usually the mics on laptops that most people do Zoom is terrible. Okay, so well, they're all right, but you get the sound, you know, you get some other noises and so on. Because I've got a pro setup, I've got a little time mic, so I'm not saying get that. If you get an external webcam, often they've got a slightly better mic in them, and then your sound's going to sound a bit better. All right. The other thing on your laptop about composition, by the way, is don't look down. Who likes to be looked down at? I don't know about you. I don't like people looking down at me, metaphorically or actually, okay? If the camera here, I've got level, so I'm looking straight into the camera. And so similarly, if you've got your laptop, make sure you prop it up on some books so that the camera is at your eye level, okay? And you've composed the shot like this, so that your eyes are on that third line and the camera's level with your eyes. It looks so much better, okay? Quick bit on lighting. I've got pro lights, but you don't need to have that. Just go and get an angle poised lamp, stick it about here, just out of shot, slightly to one side. Don't put it over the camera because the light there will be flat on your face. Slightly to one side, and you'll notice here there's a slight shadow, more shadow on this side than this side because I've got two lights. That one's brighter. But what you notice is that adds a bit of shadow, and a little bit of shadow, so coming down from there makes you look a bit more three-dimensional. It's a bit more interesting, okay? And stability, you know, make sure, in fact, I was just on a call where somebody, I think it was holding the phone or something, and it was like shaking around the whole time, and it just made you feel a bit seasick watching the person. So, you know, get it on a little tripod if you've got if you're doing it with your phone, or if you're on your laptop, don't put it on some wobbly books, get some really stable books. And like I've asked my family not to go through the front door because the whole house shakes when they slam the door, okay? So try and get some stability because it'll just make your output so much better. All right, so there's a very, very quick whistle stop through how to get your setup better. Okay, so now let's look at the any questions before I'm not going to answer them now, but have a think about anything. Just type them in and we'll answer them at the end. Okay, got loads of people want some nuggets, so that's great. So the next thing is sort of done with you video. Now I don't know if you've heard about this, but it's a very famous book now called They Ask, You Answer. It's written by a guy called Marcus Sheridan. How am I doing for time, by the way? Do dive in. I can talk the hind legs of a donkey, so we could be here for hours if you don't jump in, all right? They Ask, You Answer. This guy called Marcus Sheridan wrote this book, and he wrote it off the back of selling swimming pools in the US, would you believe? Okay, and what he did is very clever. What he did was he answered all the questions that people tended to ask about swimming pools, and he made a little video, like 30 seconds, a minute, what's the difference between a concrete swimming pool and a plastic lined swimming pool, right? Or how much does a plastic lined swimming pool cost? Or where would I get a plastic lined swimming pool? What's it made of? Is it recyclable? All those things. So he probably did a search as to what are all the questions people are asking. And obviously he's a salesman, so he knows all the questions people are asking. And then he put them all online. Now, the genius thing about this is that video tends to come high in search rankings. So it's brilliant for search engine optimization. So if somebody types in, what's the difference between a concrete swimming pool and a plastic swimming pool? Guess what? It comes to the top. And so he did extremely well, and he's now taught people all over the world. So they ask you answer videos, a brilliant way. What is it you do? What are all the questions people ask you? Okay, if you've got a load of video content on your website about your company, you could answer all the questions. It's great for search engine optimization. And if somebody asks you a question, you go, oh, I've got a video that answers that. Let me just send it to you. I'll send a link to you. And you've got that, and you can have it transcribed and so on. You can send them the transcript, even better for SEO. Okay, so they ask you answer videos. Now, with those, you might want them a little bit higher quality. So if you're not confident in editing, you might want to get somebody to sort of top and tail them. I did them with a green screen like I'm doing now, and some little bit of graphics, but nothing fancy. But just, you know, because you've got 30 of them, you might go, okay, look, we'll just shoot them and then we'll send them off to somebody else, company like mine or somebody else who can just tidy them up for you and send them all back, you know, but very low cost. It's, you know, it's not going to break the bank because it's only a little bit of editing. Okay, it's the done with you. Okay, now again, you can have testimonials where these are still potentially you shooting them, so it's a step up from Bonjoro, but now maybe you're doing them with your phone, or you know, if you've got a camera, you know, you take a little bit more time over shooting them, and again, you might want, because there's lots of takes and there's a bit of editing, you might want those to be edited by somebody else rather than you having all the faff. You probably could do it, but is it really something you should do? I'm sure you've got better things to do than editing. I like to say, I don't even like editing. It's one of those things you spend all weekend, you know, editing your holiday video, and you show people, go, oh, that's nice. And you're, nice. I've spent hours on that. You know, it just takes so long. Okay. This is really important. If you are shooting video and sticking it online, some social media platforms will automatically create captions for you. LinkedIn at the moment does not. And most people, like 80% of people, watch video with the sound turned off. So if you don't have captions on the video and you're posting it on LinkedIn, they aren't understanding what's going on, right? And even if you post it somewhere else, sometimes the captions aren't very good. Okay, so if this video matters, use a site like rev.com, you send your file up to them, they will send it back, they'll send you a transcript, and they can get a human to do it. You can either pay and get a computer to do it, it's quite cheap. We can get an actual human being to do it. It takes a little bit longer, but like only 2 or 3 hours typically, and it's like $1.50 a minute. It's like cheap as chips. And if your video is less than a minute, right, it's going to cost you $1.50 most, and it gives you so much more value because, again, now you've got the transcript, right? And you've got the captions. And when you upload the video file on LinkedIn, if you've ever done that, gives you an option to upload what we call an .srt file, which is what Rev will give you. You can't even read it. It doesn't matter. You don't need to understand what it is. It's just the captions. And you just put that up and it will match the video that you're uploading. Okay, so that's really important. The other thing that gives you, because you've got the transcript, say you were doing you could do this in reverse. So say you're thinking, right, what am I going to say in my video? And you could come up with something and record it, create a transcript, and then you can stick that transcript on the teleprompter and do it properly. You could get a little teleprompter. This is the logo for it on the Apple Store, and it's literally called Teleprompter, I think. And you put it on your phone. I've turned my phone off so it doesn't interfere with anything, but it comes up, when you do a sort of selfie mode, you see yourself and the script comes down here. So it looks like you're looking at the camera. And so you can hold it like that, or put it on a tripod and just read off the content, and you get better at it. First, it sounds a bit wooden. I'm not a huge fan of teleprompters for most people, because most people aren't very good at reading it off. But try and turn up your sort of storybook or bedtime voice, and then turn that on, and then bring it down a couple of notches, and that's about right. So you inflect your voice a little bit more than you would normally, that sort of thing, but don't go crazy with that, okay? So do a couple where it's like off the scale, well, you know, sort of thing, and then just bring it back down a couple of notches. That's really helpful. And you can do, when you get good at that, you can do a walk and talk, and then you've added a bit of movement as well. So you walk down the high street, walk around the office, but you're still actually reading off the words. So you don't. The great thing about that is you tend to sort of stay on point and don't waffle. Okay. And lastly, the top level, you might want to get an explainer video or something like that. They're fairly straightforward. This is one of the things we do an awful lot for bid videos, you know, pitch videos, oral presentations, that sort of thing, because often we haven't got a lot of time. We've got like 10 days to 2 weeks, and it's, you know, $100 million deal, and you know, they just haven't got time to do anything else. Great. Sorry you can't see the end, but do catch the replay, and do link in with me as well on LinkedIn if you're not already. Send me a little hi or a DM. That'd be much appreciated. So explainer videos, I'm sure you've seen the like. The other thing about explainer videos, if what you are proposing for this bid or proposal is quite complex, and let's face it, it probably is on one level, either financially or you know, technologically, often they are, okay. The simpler the video, actually, you would think, oh, it needs to be high tech and, you know, super duper. Actually, the reverse is true. If it feels quite simple, the person watching it feels, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And inherently, it doesn't feel scary. Okay. And that's the feedback we've had a lot from people selling tech stuff, that having it in a little simple cartoon, actually, like, the medium is the message. This is simple, like my granny could understand this, right? Now, whether she could or not, they feel that their granny could understand it. So that's worth bearing in mind. We do a lot of those. What about meet the team? So this is now like not just like the meet the team, like the social you know, version. This is more, this is us as a company. This is like the main video that goes on a website. This is what we do, who we are, but we want it to be a little bit more polished. We want it taken with a kind of slightly cinematic feel, and, you know, because it's a much higher end camera than you can get on a smartphone, that sort of thing. So, but again, it gets your face out there. It's the face of the place, as we say. Okay, so it's not, you're not hiding behind those crummy stock footage, you know, stock footage, or those really cheesy stock images where you're all kind of stood around something that looks really important, you know, somebody's holding a pen, and, you know, and you know, it's actually you, right? It's you guys. And because I want to know, if I'm going to go for this, what you're selling, you know, if I'm going to select you, I want to know that I've got nice people to do business with. It makes a big difference. So even if this is, the video is not in the bid, if it's not on your website, they will check you out. If they, unless they're stupid, they will check you out. If they can't find a nice video like that, guess what? You're not getting the deal. Or put it this way, if someone else has got that and you haven't, and you've got all the crummy stock footage, you're not getting the deal. Like this, like that, you don't want that, okay? It's but you want case studies, right? This is taking the testimonial thing to the next level, right? So you're talking about, you could go to a customer's site, especially if you've done some work for somebody that does, it's not just like a service, they actually have a product or a warehouse, or a toy shop would be, you know, like the best thing ever, right? But especially if they've got a visual product in some way, so because video is visual, it doesn't matter if not, you can still film people, but if they've got a product, you've got people in hard hats doing complicated things, it looks really good on video. Okay, so you might want to get this shot if you've got like 2 or 3 anchor clients and you want to get a case study. That is just gold dust, isn't it? You can send that out to people, and those you probably want done for you. You could spend an awful lot of time and it still won't look very good. That's going to be a major asset for you. So get that done professionally. And as I said, pitch videos. If you're pitching for $100 million deal, you don't want to be messing around on your team. You want to be focused on the RFP. So that's kind of what we do, right? That bit and the explainer videos and some of this stuff. Get some experts in, make sure and it's not about a fancy video. Don't mishear me. I'm not saying these are necessarily fancy videos. They are videos with a business story that explains the value proposition. Little tip for you, if you haven't seen these, something we do a lot with our clients is put the video on one of these. Just show that to the camera. I was probably reverse again. If you haven't seen these, are video brochures. So when you open them up, a video plays inside. You see that we did some work for APMP. And these are brilliant because people like stuff, right? You show the video in the meeting, in the oral presentation, straight away afterwards, you hand these out. You go, oh, this is nice. No one else has given us some of these, you know, and it's a massive differentiator. They can't remember you, remember, they can't choose you. You hand these out. What happens? Disrupts the meeting. They start playing around with it. If there's any buttons, they start fiddling with the buttons, right? You think, oh, it's disrupting the presentation. No. What they're doing is engaging and saying, I promise you, about 80% of people still haven't seen this, which amazes me. They've been around a long time. When they open them, the first thing they say is, wow, right? That's what they're saying psychologically. That's what they're saying about your content. And that's before they've seen the content. Okay. They're saying, wow, about something you've given them. These tend to hang around on desks and get shown to people, right? So the person in the room might not be the decision maker. You put a video on one of these, they tend to get you just made it really easy. Sorry, just made it really easy for the people in the room to go share your message. You get to keep control of your message, and they will share it with the person with the money. All right, so that is a very, very popular option, and that's me done. As I say, I've been asking people about whether they would like some coaching, because somebody asked me to do some video coaching, and I'm not kidding. The last 2 weeks, practically every conversation is like, yes, come and help us. Okay. I have a wait list because I'm already oversubscribed. I've already got way too many people than I can deal with right now. And so I'm going to be putting together an online coaching program. So if that would interest you, there may be people on this call. I know there's a couple, there's 2 or 3 people in Bidland already who are, and plenty elsewhere who are interested. I won't say their names, but they want to get them and their team on this. Okay, so it's going to be an online program. This is not a training course. This is going to be like a coaching program, hand holding you through all those steps. Okay, and then once you've got to the other end of the basics, a bit like the stuff we talked about earlier on, but actually, you know, I'll do it with you. We'll go through it. Then it's like, okay, what do we do with that? How do we differentiate? How do I do those they ask you answer videos? How do I be, and trust me, we've got a whole load of ideas for you. This is what you can do with those skills that will differentiate you from everybody else. Okay. And what we're going to do is put together people in a community from different walks of life, different industries, so that you can see, like, you know, like, well, why are you showing me what this florist has done? And you go, oh my goodness, that's such a good idea. That really gives me an idea what I could do with my clients. Okay, I'm sure you've been in groups like that where you get some cross fertilization. Okay, so if you could put the link in the chat as well, or afterwards, we'll get that link out to you if you're watching on a mobile device, because obviously you can't use the phone if you're scanning. If you're watching it on a laptop, just grab your phone and scan that, and it's like a tiny little form. You're not signing your life away. All you're saying is you're interested. Okay, I won't hold you to it. It just lets me know that you're vaguely interested. All right. Okay, that's me done. Should we do some questions? I'm excited.
Totally outside, because people tend to be so comfortable in writing written responses. When you try to look out and try to see how you can communicate the message in a video, and that's that's totally outside the comfort zone. Especially majority of the attendees tend to be bidding proposal professionals or sales professionals. So as Kevin rightly pointed out, that is done for you, that is done with you, and then that is do it yourself. Experiment it, because it's going to make it. So we already have a few questions. Kevin, let me run through in the meantime. If there is any further questions, please do drop it. So question number 1 is, do you recommend any backgrounds while doing the recording? If I'm recording from my laptop or doing it just within the laptop, Kevin, would you suggest just going a blurred version of the recording, or just
yeah? So a couple of bits about background, especially for like a Zoom setup, right? So Zoom has a nice feature where you can put your own background in. It's kind of like what I'm doing, but on the cheap. That's okay. I think especially if you have to do it in a room, then it's kind of like a bit messy. We haven't had a chance to tidy up. You can like blur the background quickly, or you can put your logo or something in the background. That's a nice feature. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of it, but look, it's it's needs must. That's a good idea. The key thing with with Zoom, before you even think about the background, is the lighting. So many people sit in front of a window, and the camera has a sensor in it, a bit like your eye. On a bright day, you close your eyes. Camera does exactly the same thing. If you're standing in front of a window or sat in front of a window, it goes, oh, I've got plenty of light, I'll close down. And what happens? You look like a silhouette. So firstly, turn around so that you're the other way around. Now your face is lit by the light, not have the light behind you, right? So in terms of background, do not have a window behind you, yeah? Or ideally, have that window, a third off to the right, because now you're bathed in this lovely white light, especially if you've got net curtains or something like that. That's brilliant, okay? Quite literally brilliant, okay? Something not busy, basically, something that looks cool or not busy, something not too much going on is a good idea. I hope that helps.
Definitely, Kevin. Thank you for that. Kevin, again, Tori will be presenting next week. So Tori talks about, is there any webcam or with an integrated microphone that you suggest?
I haven't bought one in a while, actually. I almost bought one recently, and then I kind of went up to this level. This is like a professional camera and through some software. So I'm not using a webcam. I'm kind of sort of cheating, I suppose, but it's perhaps not helpful to you. But something, they're all pretty amazing now. But if you get something, just don't get a really cheap one. Get sort of a Logitech, but not the basic one. Check the reviews. Look for one that focuses on the sound. What I wouldn't get, or if you've got that feature, unless you have to, I would turn it off, is that feature that follows you round, because it kind of just makes people feel a bit seasick, because for no reason, the cat comes across and it goes, and you're having the camera move, unless you've got a lovely tripod with what we call a fluid header, like a video tripod, it just looks quite unnatural, and I don't like it. I mean, it's up to you, but unless there's a good reason for having that, because you've got funny big low team people and it's a very wide angle lens or something, if it's just you, turn that feature off. Okay.
Totally, Kevin. I think you're right. I think don't let the technology or the technical aspect stop you from doing a video. Just even with a simple laptop, just have a go.
Absolutely.
And then be comfortable with it. Then go and improve. Because as Kevin mentioned, I invested on some very expensive microphones for my podcast and other things, but I just left everything, and now I just use my laptop, Microsoft Surface Book, and it records much better than any other stuff. That's important. And thank you.
Repeatable. That's the key, and that's why I'm emphasizing. That's why I'm so excited about this coaching program, because unless it's simple, you'll do it once and it'll be so painful you will never do it again. You've got to, it's simple, imperfect beats perfect every time, because you will do it. Simple and done beats perfect and not done, doesn't it? We all know that, and that's really true of video, because it can be a right old faff. Keep it simple, get going with it. Remember, it's all about story and content first, okay? And I read something recently, my wife told me something she'd read, actually, to be fair. And rather than thinking I've got to be on camera, think I've got something that I can help this audience with. It's important that they hear this message. And when you flip it around, and so it's not about you, it's about them, they need to hear this message. It kind of gets the focus off you and what you look like and what you sound like. Because even if it was like told badly, they're still hearing the message. Okay, so get over yourself, get that message out. They need to hear what you've got to say. And so make sure you go tell them. If you need any help, or you want to tell me that you're interested in the coaching program or any other feedback, that'd be super helpful. It's been a real pleasure. Yeah, connect on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for that. There's a couple more questions. Then as people know, Scribble Quiz will open after that for the curious ones. So there are 3 questions, but before that, let me ask. So how, just give 1 or 2 examples. What are the different ways to include video in proposals? You already showed that thing, Kevin, which was very handy, the part of the written proposals, or while you are doing presentations for any you just have it. But what are other different ways, Kevin?
Sure. So I think that the most powerful place is in the proposal. It's in the pitch presentation itself, because it's a little bit of theatre, and you want to see how they reacted to it. If it was funny, did they laugh? Did they kind of look like blank? Did they what happened, right? So that is the most powerful place. However, if you are doing Increasingly, people are using microsites. I'm in discussions with a company, a microsite company, to bring that to my clients. That is brilliant. So if you've got a microsite and the content of the bid are on the microsite, if you've got videos, either company, you could have your standard yada yada company videos, but if you've got a bit of content that's specific to this bid, that's even better. And you can do stats. You can see, did they watch it? How much did they watch? Did they engage with it or some way? So that's really powerful. And then earlier on, even before, as you'll get right at the beginning, before, as you're trying to, hopefully you're trying to shape the RFP, you're not just kind of waiting at the end. That's where the losers are, right at the end. If you're only ever doing that, you're not really doing the capture phase properly. You want to be, ideally, of course, I know you can't always do that, but if you can, you want to be out there influencing what's even in that RFP so it suits your solution, right? So getting these, you can do what we call account-based marketing. So that video that you put out, you don't put it on YouTube. You do, say you've got a fairly sort of standard product. Of course, it's customized to everybody, but really it's fairly standard product. And you're going to sell it to these 5 mobile phone companies, say, I don't know. What you do is you don't put your video online. You make 60% of that video is the same, and then 40% of it's customized to each individual company. And you go and see them early in the process. You leave them with one of these so that your message is getting into the company, and that video will feel like you've made the whole thing specifically for them. But of course you haven't, so it keeps it cost effective. So that's a good way to do account-based marketing. I hope that helps. I'm sure there's plenty of other ways as well, but that's all I can think of for now.
I think, thank you, Kevin. I think it comes to a point where people are looking at the basics of, do I need to switch on my video while in a webinar or in a training or any meeting? Because obviously the presenter is talking, but I don't need to switch on. I think it's a journey for them to first be comfortable in switching on their video during any talk, let alone then go back and present in a video.
Absolutely, it's scary. It really is. As I say, I've videoed so many people and they find it scary because they don't know. If you don't know that that's wrong, you kind of feel, well, I don't know what I don't know. So I don't really know, well, how do I come across right on video? I don't know. It's just never really thought about it. So if you know these basic tips and oh, I'm doing it right, then it gives you, once you know what you don't know, then you can fix that, and then you can make sure you do know, that thing, and then you've done it, and you know that you're going to come across the best you possibly can, and it's very simple, So
thank you, Kevin. Thank you for that. Again, we will add the links to Kevin's program and the related resources like 7 nuggets at the end of it. But let's officially open the Scribble quiz. As you know, the drill, 3 questions from the webinar. Let's see who answers first. Are we ready? Get close to the chat and let's begin. Which tool at the very beginning, Kevin mentioned, that tool mentioned that the trend that's going to happen in the next few years or now is going to be more videos. Which tool did Kevin refer to? No.
That was one of them.
Kevin referred the very first early on that videos is the way forward. There is a large percentage of people who are going to move to videos. And no, Ankit, good try. One more, anybody wants to try?
I'm not sure what you mean, actually. I'm trying to think myself. What did I say? I'm not quite sure what you mean.
It's HubSpot, yeah, because you mentioned, the trend is moving on towards video and HubSpot. HubSpot,
oh, yes.
That's very early on, but that's a good one. Good try. Yes, now, there are a couple of examples that that Kevin gave, but in the nuggets, how many nuggets did Kevin have? 7.
It's making me feel hungry now. I want some chicken nuggets now.
That's true. That's true. Also, while talking about video, Kevin mentioned a very important point. It's all great that you go and do a video, but you do need to ensure that the transcripts needs to be in place. But while talking about that, Kevin mentioned that what percentage of LinkedIn videos where people watch doesn't have transcripts on it, or people watch, people don't even look because it has music on or a video on. What percentage was that? The people don't watch without audio. It's a large percentage, and hence it's important to do the transcript. What percentage of videos? Slightly down, Piyush?
Close.
Anybody else want to try?
Lower.
Oh,
Hey, there we go.
that's 80. That's true. But which tool did? It looks like it's a fight between Piyush and Kit.
Yeah,
Come
they're
on,
on it.
go for it. Again, which tool did Kevin suggest? If you do want to use transcripts, please do use this tool. It's as little as $150. Yes, it's Rev. Again, you know what? There is a lot to take away here. I only recently came to know about Bonjoro, and we use a similar tool called Dub. And I use it all the time, since we do a lot of training videos. When I want to get an update from people, hey guys, go and do this, you have 1 week to go, rather than to send emails, I just send a friendly video message, exactly what Kevin mentioned.
Absolutely.
And you can clearly see, people will come back and say, I still haven't done it, but it's good to see your face,
Yeah.
Sometimes,
It's a friendly face. People want to do, everybody knows people do business with people.
Right.
And so get your face out there.
Correct. So please do explore those things. It's not things. And again, Loom for task training videos. There's a lot of nuggets in there. But again, be comfortable. That's the world. The world is moving on. Yes, there is lots of online submissions. But if there is anything that you could do to differentiate, you could try. And video is one. And I've known Kevin for a long time, as early as I think 2015. Kevin, I don't know whether you remember Boston or San Diego or something when you were there.
Yes.
He's always been a big advocate of videos long before all these tools came in, so a lot of respect to Kevin sharing for his things, and we'll add the details of his programs and stuff. Please do continue to learn, and if there is any questions now before we close, please do drop it. Otherwise, next week we are going to have Tori, Victoria Hamilton. As you know, we bring in an expert in 1 week, and next week we encourage one of our Scribble student or one of our, what we call young professionals to present. And next week we have Tori presenting for the very first time. So please do join in and support Tori on that. And the topic is succeeding in proposals, what key skills you need in proposal management. That would be very interesting from a young professional like Victoria. So I'll see you next week. With any details, please do drop a note, connect with Kevin, drop him a note, and we'll share the details of Kevin's details behind this to all the attendees. Until then, look after yourselves, and I'll see you next week. But Kevin, thank you so much for joining. Enjoy this stuff.
You're really welcome. Well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And thanks for all for watching.
Thank you.